Right, so welcome everyone to our Wednesday evening flow and reflect class. So we're going to start seated. So you might sit on a folded blanket or a cushion, have a little move around so you can find that central point. And you might roll through the shoulders a few times. And then let yourself settle down. Maybe palms facing up. Or maybe palms facing down. So feel into what would be right. And as you physically settle, take a long deep breath in. Feel yourself lengthening up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, settle in. And maybe doing that a couple of times. Gradually allowing yourself to become still and present here. And having that checking in, that scan through the body, see how everything is. How are you physically? How is the mind? How is the general mood or emotions? And as best you can, allowing it all to just be as it is. Just being that witness of whatever is there. So we're coming to the end of our exploration of the elements. Week 6, which is about space. For me, it's about the magic in every moment. And often it's the busyness of life that makes us lose sight of that magic and that wonder that is all around and also within us. And we even forget that it's a small miracle that you and I even exist. We'll have an exploration of space, or sometimes called ether or spirit, which is said to contain all the other elements. It's the source of our intuition and our inner wisdom. It's that kind of light within. And in a physical sense, it connects into throat and beyond. So maybe eyebrow center, crown of the head, corresponding with throat chakra, space between eyebrows, crown chakra. Or sometimes you could think of it as like the third eye, that kind of the kind of stuff we can't really put our finger on. It's hard to even comprehend or explain. But you sense it and feel it. So taking some longer, deeper breaths now. Maybe sighing out through the mouth. And then we're going to come over into tabletop. So hips over knees, shoulders over wrists, fingertips spread. So we're going to move through our cat-cow, but we're going to pause in each one a little bit more. So you can tuck the toes, take an inhale, allow the belly to drop, gaze up, tailbone up, and just pause there and exhale. And take another inhale and just see if you can allow the hands to kind of move away from one another. They're not actually going to move, but you're kind of pressing the hands away from one another, into the earth and away. So it's what we're kind of looking for perhaps today is like the more subtle aspects of our practice. So take another inhale, and then as you exhale, untuck the toes and round through the spine. moving into cat, and once you get there, just have that pause there as well. Few breaths. See if you can push into the earth and also push the hands away from one another, and just kind of notice what happens with the arms, the shoulders. And we'll do that again. So you're inhaling, belly drops. You could tuck the toes, gaze up. Pause again, just exhale there. And have that little pressing into the earth, hands pushing away from one another. Notice the arms, the shoulders. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, move the other way. Again, just pausing when you kind of get there. You kind of feel like you can't go any deeper, but actually press into the hands a little bit more. Feel that you could lengthen the arms just a tiny bit further. Feel that you could lengthen the tailbone slightly more. And then we can move through cat-cow with the breath. So you're inhaling to gaze up, but still try to keep some of that awareness into the hands, the shoulders. Exhaling round, feel that lengthening through the back of the body, through the spine. Inhaling, rounding. And exhale. And then sitting back towards child's and just swaying the hips side to side. Keep the hands reaching forward, the elbows off the mat. And then as you inhale, come back to your tabletop and then into your down dog. And then a little walk out through the legs. Make sure you've got hip distance between the feet. And still have that kind of awareness into the hands. So spread fingertips, space between thumb and index finger, planting down as best you can. And having that kind of awareness of the hands moving away from one another. Again, it's very, very subtle, but you might just start to feel it slightly different into the arms, upper arms, shoulders. And then pausing in your down dog, inhale, lift the pelvis, find length through the back, press into the hands, and then as you exhale, guide heels towards the earth while you keep that lift. Become aware of the head, so really give the head a good shake, let it go, let it really hang heavy. Become aware of the knees, even have a look at the knees. Can you draw the knees slightly out? They might have a tendency to almost move towards one another without you doing anything. So again, subtle movements, slightly out to the side so they sit over the ankles. Pressing into the hands each time you inhale is like a lift and a lengthening through the tailbone. And each time you exhale, heels move slightly towards the earth. Again, it's like it's movement that you can't really see, but you can feel. And then we're going to inhale and feel that you could come forward and round through the spine as you come forward. So lift like the lower back up towards the sky and then come towards your plank. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring the knees down and allow the pelvis and the belly to come down, but not the chest. So keep the elbows in towards the body. And then as you inhale, come into your cobra, press into the tops of the feet. And as you exhale, rounding again through the spine, come back to your down dog. So a kind of slightly different vinyasa. Again, it's very subtle differences. So we do that a couple of times. So from your down dog, inhale to come forward, almost like you could lift the heels, push the middle of the back into the sky, come to your plank, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, knees and pelvis and belly down onto the mat. The chest stays lifted. Inhale to your cobra, doesn't need to be high, and then exhale, rounding again through the spine, back to your down dog. Take an inhale, lift the heels, bring the middle of the back up towards the sky, round forward, plank, take another inhale, and exhale, knees, pelvis and belly down, but the heart is staying lifted. Inhale to gaze up, press into the tops of the feet, and then exhaling, rounding through the spine, back to your down dog. So we'll do that one more time, and I'll just have a look for those I can see. So you're inhaling, rounding forward. So lift the heels, round through the spine, weight comes forward, and then you come to your plank. Don't drop the belly. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, knees, pelvis, belly down. Yeah, lovely. Inhale to your cobra. And then exhale, pushing into the hands as you round again back through into your down dog. Lovely. And then from your down dog, walk the feet towards the hands into your forward fold. Maybe take elbows, have a little rock side to side. Take another inhale, and exhale, release the hands towards the earth. Gaze forward, take an inhale, reach forward and all the way up to the top, and exhale to bring the hands into the heart space. So take a long deep breath there, feel yourself lengthen up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, soften down into the earth. Take an inhale, reach the hands up. And as you exhale, fold from the hips, little bend into the knees, long spine, then release the hands and head. Inhale for your half lift, so maybe fingertips on the mat or hands onto the shins. And we'll step back with the left leg and bring the left knee down, right knee over ankle. Take an inhale to come into your lunge. And as you exhale, we're going to bring the left elbow over the right, so your eagle arms, or you could take shoulders if you need to. Take an inhale there, and as you exhale, bring the elbows over to the right and take the gaze to the left. So it's quite subtle, but you could maybe feel a little bit more of an opening through the left shoulder. So elbows are going to the right, gazing towards the left shoulder. But you're not creating any tension in the neck or the shoulders or anything, but just see how that feels. Does it feel slightly different to how you would normally be in your eagle arms? Just exploring the subtlety of your practice. And then when you're ready, inhaling, reaching the hands up. And then exhale, bring the hands into the heart space and twisting to the right to bring the elbow to the outside of the knee. Press the hands together, press the right hand into the left, but keep the gaze down towards the right foot. So keep it a little bit softer, or just notice how that feels to do it in that way. Pressing the right hand into the left as you lift the heart, as you move into that twist bit by bit. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, release the hands, step back to your down dog. In your down dog, lift the pelvis, inhale, push into the hands, do all those little adjustments, exhaling, sink heels towards mat. And again, it's like things like moving the hands away from one another. They're not actually moving. They're like glued to the mat, but you can feel the palms pushing away from one another. Check the knees. Check the head, nice and loose. And then gazing forward, take an inhale, step left leg, right knee down. Inhale to your lunge. And then exhale, right elbow over left. Eagle arms, or you can take the shoulders. Take an inhale, draw belly in, and move the elbows to the left. And then you're gazing to the right. Yes, that is right. And again, just that subtlety of how little movements within the body can actually make quite a big difference. Breathing and exhaling, drawing belly in, staying connected, staying solid there. And then as you inhale, reach the hands back up to the top. And exhale to bring the hands to the heart space, twisting to the left, bring the elbow to the outside, pressing the left hand into the right, lifting the heart, but keeping the gaze down towards the right foot, left foot even. And each time you inhale, lengthening through the spine, lift the heart, exhaling to twist, a little bit at a time. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, release, step back to your down dog. So we'll do that slightly alternative version of a vinyasa if you like. So inhale, lift the heels, round through the spine, weight comes forward, so you come into your plank, don't let the belly drop. Take an inhale, exhale, knees, pelvis, belly come down, keep the elbows close to the body. Inhale to your cobra, and then exhale back to your down dog. From your down dog, gaze forward, take an inhale, step or maybe hop the feet to the top of the mat. Find your half lift, so maybe fingertips on the earth or the hands onto the shins. Exhale, folding in. Step back with the right leg, bring the bring the right knee down. Inhale to your lunge, reaching up. And this time interlace the fingers and bring the backs of the hands onto the crown of the head. So as you inhale, feel that you could like push up as if the crown of the head was pushing into the hands. And as you exhale, draw belly in and find that little bit of length through the back, through the tailbone, lower back. And feel there, could you almost move the elbows back further? As if they were going to come towards one another. That's not going to happen. But as if they were moving towards the back. And can you feel that subtlety in the arms, in maybe biceps, shoulders? And each time you inhale, that lifting up, as if you were pushing the crown of the head into the hands. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hands down. Step back to your down dog. Inhaling your down dog, lift the pelvis. Exhaling, softening in. And then gazing forward, step the right leg, left knee down. Inhale to your lunge. Interlace the hands, but you might notice, can you bring the opposite little finger outside? It feels slightly different again, very subtly different. Backs of the hands onto the crown of the head. As you inhale, lift and lengthen. And as you exhale, draw belly in, lengthen tailbone, and move the elbows back. And it's, again, very subtle. You probably wouldn't be able to see it, but you can feel it, hopefully. Breathing there. So no tension in the neck. That right knee in line with the hip. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, release, step back to your down dog, and that alternative vinyasa, so you're inhaling, lifting the heels, lift the pelvis, round through the back. As you come to your plank, take an inhale, and exhale, knees, pelvis, belly, elbows in. Inhale to your cobra. And exhale to your down dog. And the whole time you're feeling that you could press the hands away from one another as well as pressing them into the earth. And then when you're ready, inhale, gaze forward, step or hop the feet to the top of the mat. Finding your half lift again. And then exhaling, folding in over the legs. And then step back, left leg. Knee down. Inhale to your lunge. And this time we'll exhale, release the hands behind and come into either reverse prayer, if that's available, or take the opposite elbows behind you. So depending on which one is available for you. If you're in your reverse prayer, you might kind of wiggle the fingers up the back. And then as you inhale, feel that length through the spine, through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, draw belly in. And feel subtleties again here. So can you move the elbows back further, away from you? Away from the front of the chest, if you like. Again, tiny, tiny movements. Take another inhale. As you exhale, release the hands and interlace the fingers. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. And exhale, belly draws in, squeezing into that. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hands, step back to your down dog. In your down dog, do all those little checks. Lift the pelvis, press into the hands, spread the fingers, check the knees. I've become more and more aware of my knees tending to kind of knock in towards one another if I don't actually engage the thighs, work the legs. And it creates quite a different stretch in the backs of the legs as well. Making sure that the heels cannot be seen, you know, the inside or the outside of the heels, the feet are straight. Very, very subtle things that you can look out for. And then when you're ready, gaze forward, step left leg, drop right knee, inhaling up. Exhale the hands behind, reverse prayer, or taking the elbows. So you might notice if you're taking elbows, you have a tendency to do it one way. Try to do it the other way, the way that feels strange. And if you're just reverse prayer, there's no other different way of doing that, I don't think. But as you inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, belly draws in. See if you can draw the elbows back. Almost kind of imagine those elbows like your wings. You're drawing them back. But nothing's kind of changed in the belly and the pelvis. That's all staying really steady. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release and interlace the hands. And this will be the one where you feel you could have the opposite little finger outside, and that feels slightly different. So do the one that feels strange. Yeah, so you can kind of begin to create that balance within. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release, come back to your down dog. And then from your down dog, inhale, lift the heels, lift the pelvis, round through the spine as you exhale. So you come to your plank, take an inhale, and exhale your knees, pelvis, belly. Inhale, press into the feet, gazing up, and exhaling, traveling back. Your down dog. And then gazing forward, take an inhale to step or hop the feet to the top of the mat, finding your half lift. And then exhaling, folding in over the legs. Press into the feet, inhale to come all the way up to stand, and exhale to bring the hands into the heart space. Just take a moment, notice, feel. And then inhaling, reaching the hands up. And exhaling, folding from the hips, come all the way through. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale, step left leg, then right leg into your plank. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, either knees, chest, chin, or your chaturanga if you would like. But this time you can bring the chest down as well. Make sure the hands are under the shoulders. Inhale to your cobra or maybe your up dog. And then exhaling, traveling back through your child's pose and into down dog. Inhale, lifting pelvis. And exhaling, softening in. And then gaze forward, step left leg, right leg, or a little hop forward into your half lift. Exhaling, folding in. Press through the feet, inhale to come all the way up to stand. And exhale the hands to the heart. Inhale to reach the hands up. And exhaling, folding through. So remember, keep the gaze forward for as long as you can, keeping the spine long, then release hands and head. Inhale, half lift. Step right leg, then left leg. Unless you're working with little hop backs and forwards, then that's fine. In your plank, take an inhale, and then exhale, knees, chest, chin. Or your chaturanga. Chest coming down this time, hands under shoulders. Inhale to your cobra or up dog, and then exhaling, traveling back to your down dog. And then gazing forward, inhale, step right, then left, or hopping. Half lift as you get there, and then exhaling, folding in. Inhale all the way up to the top, and then exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, reach the hands up, and exhaling, folding all the way through. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, left leg, right leg, hopping back. Take an inhale in your plank. And then exhale, come all the way down onto belly and chest. Reach the hands beside the body, palms facing down. Draw the toes towards one another. And then as you inhale, lift the feet, the head, the chest, the arms, everything up into your Shalabhasana, your locust pose. Exhale, there might just be a little bit of softness, softening down. Keep the fingertips beside the body, nice and close. So you're inhaling to lift. Palms are facing down to the earth. Exhaling to soften in. I find it useful to keep toes towards one another, engages the legs. See how you feel. Inhale to lift. And exhaling. Do one more like that. Inhale. And exhale, bringing the hands back under the shoulders. Push back through your child's pose and into your down dog. And then once in your down dog, inhale, lift the right leg, bend the knee, open up the hip. But notice, does that right shoulder tend to lift at the same time as well? If it does, just drop it back down. Perhaps send the left heel towards the mat. And just see where you can kind of play with that. Just see if you can lift the right knee a little bit higher. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, sweeping that foot forward, we're going to keep the left knee lifted this time. Inhale to come into your high lunge, reaching the hands up. And as you exhale, draw the belly in. You might have a tiny little bend into that left leg to create that neutral pelvis, and then send the heel back. Take another inhale, reach up through the fingertips. And then as you exhale, bring the left elbow over the right, back to your eagle arms, or take the shoulders. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring the elbows over to the right side and take the gaze to the left. Just a very subtle opening through that side, but make sure there's no strain in the neck. So ease it off if you need to. It's kind of just invitations to move towards that. Deep breaths. And then as you inhale, reach the hands all the way up. And exhale to bring the hands into the heart space, moving into that twist. So the elbow, left elbow to the outside, pressing the right hand into the left, but keep the gaze down towards that right foot. So as you inhale, lift the heart. And as you exhale, moving into that twist. And make sure that that right knee is pressing into the elbow as much as the elbow is kind of pressing into the knee. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hand, step back to your down dog. And in your down dog, just kind of set that up, check that out again. Hands moving away from one another. And perhaps there's a little bend in the elbows. I find that is useful if you have a tendency to lock out elbows. Can really engage the upper arms. Check the knees, belly drawing in, check the head is loose. Just having that pause as well in your down dog, allowing those pauses in your practice. Where you're just breathing, just with whatever is there. And then take an inhale, left leg lifts, bend the knee, open up on that side. Check in with that left shoulder, send the right heel to the mat. It's really just being kind of really vigilant to all the little subtle things that are happening within. Seeing what you can become aware of that maybe you wouldn't be aware of if you were moving a bit quicker through your practice. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, bring that foot forward. Inhale to your high lunge. Exhale to bend into that right leg a little, draw belly in, lengthen tailbone, take an inhale, reach through the fingertips. And then as you exhale, the right elbow over left into your eagle arms on that side. And then inhale, and as you exhale, the elbows moving slightly over to the left and the gaze to the right. Breathing there. And then as you inhale, reach the hands all the way up. Exhale the hands into prayer, moving into that twist, so elbow to the outside of the knee. Gaze down to the foot. Press the left hand into the right as you twist. So each time you inhale, lengthening spine, crown of the head forward. Exhaling, twisting. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, release the hand, step back to your down dog. In your down dog, pausing with all those little subtle differences that you can make in your practice. You can just hang out in your down dog, not do very much at all. Or you can really kind of work with those subtleties. And then when you're ready, inhale to step or hop the feet to the top of the mat. Half lift, exhaling, folding in. Inhale, press into the feet, come all the way up to the top. Exhale the hands to prayer at the heart center. Pausing there for a moment. Feeling and sensing. And then we'll move to our chair. So either feet together or feet hip distance. So check out where the feet are, and then inhale to sit down into the heels, lifting the hands up. The knees are over the ankles. So whether they're together or apart, just have a look. So you're engaging the legs, the weight is back into the heels, and the knees are directly over the ankles. You can check that by physically looking. And then as you inhale, you're lifting up through the fingertips. Feel as if you could bring biceps back by the ears. Maybe, if that's possible. Can you lift a little bit higher? And each time you do that, just notice, do you go into a little back bend? I know I have a tendency, so I have to keep pulling belly in, lower ribs in. Just those subtle little differences that you can make to move deeper into your practice. Take another inhale, and then as you exhale, release the hands down. Inhale for your half lift, and then exhale, we're going to step back with the left leg. You're going to inhale to your warrior two. Set up your legs, maybe a little bit wider, bending into the right leg. And again, knee over ankle. Keep that alignment, but you're opening through the pelvis, reaching through the fingertips. And just notice if torso is reaching forward, you want to kind of reach back ever so slightly into that left hand. And then take an inhale, reach the hands up. And then as you exhale, kind of make fists with the hands and draw back down as if you were kind of pulling yourself up on a pull-up bar. So really feel the muscles in the biceps working. So maybe do that again. Inhale, lift the hands up. And exhaling, pull down into that. And then inhale, reach out. So reach out to the sides. And then as you exhale, bring the left hand behind you to the right hip. Turn the right palm forward, take an inhale, straighten that right leg, and as you exhale, fold forward into your Trikonasana. So that right hand just below the knee or towards ankle if that's available, but then you're drawing back through this left shoulder. And maybe you even gaze down to the right foot, or even just in front of you, so there's a slight softness into the neck. And each time you inhale, lengthening through the crown of the head. So even lift, you know, there's very little weight, if no weight, onto that right leg. Maybe just like the little finger, just resting on that leg. And then take another inhale, come back to your warrior two, so bend into that right leg. Exhale, draw belly in. And then inhale, reach the hands up. And then exhale, do that pull up. So really feel like you're pulling yourself up into the air using the biceps. Inhale, reach the fingertips out. And then exhale, step back to your down dog. Take an inhale to lift the heels, round through the spine. Come to your plank. Take an inhale, and then exhale, either knees, chest, chin, all the way down, or your chaturanga, one straight line, but elbows in. Come onto your belly, reach the hands behind, interlace the fingers. Inhale to lift the head and chest, and maybe the feet and the legs as well. And as you exhale, there's a little bit of softness, and then maybe drawing feet towards one another. Inhale, lift. Exhaling, softening. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to soften. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Hands under the shoulders, pushing all the way back through into your down dog. And then we'll step forward with the left leg. Right foot comes down. Inhale to your warrior two on that side. So set up your legs. Strong legs, so really feeling yourself connecting into the earth. Make sure that that knee is in line with the hip, over the ankle, reach through the fingertips. Take an inhale, reach the hands up. And as you exhale, make fists draw down, using the strength in the arms. Inhale to reach the fingertips out to the side. Exhale to bring the right hand behind you, maybe to the left hip. Turn the left palm forward, take an inhale. And then as you exhale, straighten the left leg and move into your Trikonasana on that side. And then draw back through the right shoulder. Maybe gaze down to the left foot or forward, so you're just like a little bit softer into the neck. No weight onto that left leg, and maybe just imagine it's like little finger just resting on the leg, so that each time you exhale, you're connecting in. Deep breaths. And then inhale to come back to your warrior two. Reach the hands up. Inhale. And then as you exhale, that drawing down. Inhale, reach the fingertips out to the side, and then exhale, stepping back to your down dog. And then once in your down dog, having that little pause, that check-in. Push the hands away from one another. Check the knees. Really check the head, so give it a shake if you need to. Check the jaw and the mouth. Let that be soft as well. Nice long breaths. And then when you're ready, inhale, step or hop the feet to the top of the mat. Your half lift. Exhaling, folding in. Inhale to come back to your chair, so either feet together, feet hip distance. But check it all out again. So thighs connecting, knees over ankles, belly drawing in, tailbone long. Reach the fingertips up, like the biceps want to go beside the ears, or even beyond the ears, if that was possible. And then take an inhale, straighten the legs, reach for the sky. And then exhale to bring the hands into the heart. Take a long, deep breath. And a long exhale. And then inhale back to your chair. Nice and low, engage the thighs. Exhale to fold all the way through. Inhale for your half lift. And exhale, we'll step back with the left leg. This time come into warrior one. So inhale, bending into that right leg. Up to the top. And just take a moment to exhale, draw belly in, find that length through the back of the body, sink into that right leg, take an inhale, reach through the fingertips, and as you exhale, the hands come behind into your reverse prayer, or take the elbows, take opposite elbows, depending on how that feels. Breathing there, so each time you inhale, lifting and lengthening up. And each time you exhale, belly draws in. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, begin to fold forward, but keep the elbows drawing back. And you're folding forward, and the spine is staying long, so you're probably going to keep the gaze forward quite a bit here. The left foot is really pressing into the mat, bending into that right leg. And then take an inhale to come back up to the top. Exhale to release the hands, interlace the fingers. Take an inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. So you're opening up through the heart. But as you exhale, draw belly in. And then we're going to move into warrior three. So take an inhale. And then as you exhale, step into that right leg and lift the left. And if you can, keep the hands where they are, but you could always release them out to the side. Press through the left heel. Allow the foot to come up as the head and the chest moves down. So think of that kind of T shape with the body. Keep drawing up through the standing leg. Take another inhale. Bending into that right leg a little, as you really control that to bring that left foot to the back of the mat, onto the toes, and then inhale to a high lunge, reach the arms up. And then exhale, release the hands down. Step back to your dog. And again, inhaling long, moving hands away from one another. Exhaling, softening in. And then stepping that left foot forward. Plant the right foot, inhale to your warrior one. Set it all up, draw belly in, push down through the outside of the right foot. So you're really feeling that that inner arch is opening. Inhale, reach through the fingertips, exhale the hands behind. So your reverse prayer, or you're taking the elbows. Take the elbows the opposite way if you are doing it that way. And if it's your reverse prayer, draw the elbows back. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, begin to fold forward. So the weight is coming forward, obviously, but you're pressing back into that right foot and the outside of the foot. And just notice how that kind of changes the stretch into that right leg. And notice if that left hip has a tendency to kind of come out to the side. I know mine does. And I have to kind of draw it back in. These kind of very subtle things happening in the body. And then as you inhale, come back up, release the hands, interlace. Opposite little finger on the outside, the way that feels strange. Inhale, shoulder blades together. And then we step forward into that left leg. Get ready to launch into your warrior three. And push through the heel as you lift that right leg. Draw up through the standing leg. Keep the hands where they are or reach them out to the side, depending on how that is for shoulders. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, really control that. So bend into that left leg. Bring that right foot to the back of the mat. Inhale to a high lunge. And then exhale to release to your down dog. And as ever in your down dog, pausing with all those little adjustments. So space is all about the subtleties in life. And we find that when we are busy and stressed and challenged, we're not able to see those subtleties. We're not able to see the magic in every moment, to see the happy moments, to see the joy, to see the bliss. And sometimes we just need to kind of retrain ourselves to pause and listen, and perhaps create that space and time for ourselves to see it and be it and be present with our lives. So then when you're ready, inhale, lift the heels round through the spine to come to your plank. Inhale in your plank, and then exhale, come all the way down onto your belly. Reach the hands behind, interlace, take an inhale, draw shoulder blades together, and then lifting head and chest and legs, everything up. Exhaling, softening in. Inhale to lift, and exhale. One more, inhale. And exhale, release the hands under the shoulders, push back to your tabletop, and then we're going to bring the forearms on the mat and interlace the fingers. So you're bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders, so that kind of forearm dog that we've been playing with. This time we're going to keep the head off the mat. Last week we were bringing the head down. We might do that second, but just keeping the head off the mat for now. Make sure the elbows are underneath the shoulders. And in fact, when I look at mine are actually a little bit closer in towards one another. And try to keep them there as you move into this. So take an inhale. As you exhale, push into the forearms and feel how that broadens the shoulders, or it might broaden the shoulders. See if that works for you. And that is the kind of dynamics that you want to create when you're moving into this. So take another inhale. And then as you exhale, draw belly in, tuck the toes, and lift the pelvis, and have that kind of same dynamic of pressing the forearms into the mat. Walk the feet towards the elbows. The head is lifted. Take a few breaths. Seeing how that is across shoulders. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release the knees. Sit back to child's pose briefly. Release the arms beside the body. Maybe noticing shoulders and arms. Beginning to feel those perhaps a little bit more than normal. And then reach forward again. Interlace the hands. Press into the forearms. Lift, tuck the toes, lift the pelvis. So back to that dog, and just see, can you kind of play around with it? So can you allow the crown of the head to come forward over the hands, and then push back, and you're just kind of playing with the weight, coming forward, pushing back, just so you can kind of get a sense of how the shoulders even work, and how that feels for you. Take an inhale, and then exhale, knees come back down, sit back to child's pose again, release the arms. And then we'll do the one where we bring the crown of the head down, so it'd be like headstand prep as we were last week for those that were here. Heather, if you're not into headstand prep, then you don't have to go there. But what we've been doing is interlacing the fingers again, making sure the elbows are staying underneath the shoulders. Crown of the head is coming down, but actually there is no weight, really very, very little weight onto the crown of the head. And then we're tucking the toes, lifting the pelvis, walking the feet in again. And no hopping. Remember, no hopping. We're hugging one knee in and then just seeing if it's possible to hug the other knee in and balance. It's about finding that balance. You're right, Emma. You had enough of that. You're going for it, Tony. So hug knee in. Oh, you're going to the wall, Emma. Okay, great. Yep. So hug one knee in, Tony. No hopping. Don't hop. Yeah, that looks good, Emma. I can see your foot. Squeeze in. Squeeze. So what you want to try to do is that engagement and then that drawing in. You're getting there, Tony. That looked good. No hopping, Emma. Still see you. And just play with that. Keep pushing the elbows in, the forearms into the mat. Keep kind of that broadening across the shoulders happening. And don't let the elbows come out to the side. I see that a lot. I know I can't actually see your elbows, but I see that a lot in classes where the elbows start to creep out to the sides. So don't let that happen. Keep them drawn in. And keep firing into the belly. Keep that drawing in. Yeah, so Emma, what you're looking for is keep walking the toes forward so that the hips stack over the shoulders. And then draw the knee in. Because once you get that stacking, you find that you're kind of balanced and everything just kind of happens. Eventually. Yep, keep drawing in, no hopping. Just hug one knee in. Keep walking in. It feels like you're going to go too far and you're going to topple over, but you won't. Anyway, that's probably enough of that. Release. Well done. Release into your child's pose for a few breaths. And well done, Heather. That was probably a good alternative there. And then when you're ready, we will gradually come to sit. Bending the knees, have the hands behind, bending into the elbows and lift the heart. So lift the center of the chest, but have that bend into the elbows. And again, it's like as if the elbows could move back towards one another. And then maybe the shoulder blades could move back towards one another. So again, just those subtleties, exploring that. Inhale. And exhale, and then bring the right leg over the left, so either your Gomukhasana legs, your cow face legs, or just bring the right ankle in front of the left if that is just not going to work for you. So it's kind of knees stacking, heels towards hips. Yep. Looks good, but depends how it feels. So if there's pain in the knees, then definitely don't do it. But then take an inhale, lift and lengthen. And as you exhale, draw belly in. And then as you inhale, reach the hands up to the top. And then as you exhale, bring the left hand to the shoulders, to the shoulder blades. And then either take hold of the elbow or reach the hand round to take hold of the fingertips. So it's going to depend just how shoulders feel there. So take an inhale. If you have hold of the elbow, push the elbow into the hand and the hand into the elbow. You might stay there, take an inhale, or you might fold forward as you exhale. But the folding forward is not essential. Be with where feels right. This is a pretty strong pose. I don't normally teach the whole thing. It's pretty intense. And then if you're folding forward, take an inhale, exhale, release the hands forward, maybe onto fingertips. Take another inhale, And as you exhale, walk your way back up. Release the legs. Come back to that. Bending the legs, bring the hands behind. Bending the elbows quite deeply. Bring the elbows towards one another and lift the heart. Breathing a couple of breaths there. Take an inhale. See if you could bend into the elbows just a little bit more. Just notice. Inhale. And exhale, release, and then bring the left leg over the right. Moving on to that side. You might notice it's very different to the other side. So if you need to do more of a kind of cross-legged thing, then please do that, because you will feel it into the hips. You don't always have to do the very full poses. So then as you inhale, reach the hands up. And as you exhale, right hand to the shoulder blades. Take hold of the elbow or reach the hands round. You might notice one side is very different to the other. And not possible to take hold of fingertips. I know that's the case for me. My right arm is much tighter than left. So it just doesn't want to reach round. And again, if you have hold of elbow, press elbow into hand, hand into elbow. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you might fold forward. Take another inhale. As you exhale, release the hands, come onto the fingertips. Couple of breaths. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, walk the hands back. Release the legs. That little lift again. And maybe this time we lift pelvis, but bending into the elbows first of all, drawing the elbows towards one another, lift the heart. And then take another inhale. And as you exhale, press into the hands, straighten the arms or strengthen the arms as you lift the pelvis. Only go there if you want to go there though, but you're lifting up. And there might be a little rocking backwards and forwards on the shoulders, on the hands, depending on how that feels. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, release. Release into down dog. I'm going to go into pigeon. So inhale to lift the right leg. And exhale to bring it forward. Either between the hands or over towards the right wrist. Lengthen the left leg. Yeah, you can do it on your back as well if you want to. So inhale to lift and lengthen. And as you exhale, begin to come down, but we're going to bring the left forearm just briefly across the top of the mat. So left forearm across the top of the mat. Inhale to reach the right hand forward. Exhale to bring it round. This is all just invitations, extra little bits. You can bring the hand to the outside of the left hip, or it might almost be able to take hold of the right heel. And just like a little opening through that right side, opening the right side of the heart up towards the sky. It's like a little bit of a twist in your pigeon. And then take another inhale. And then exhale, release that right hand and then just move down into your pigeon. And if you're on your back, you already know what you're doing, I think. Lovely. Oh, so whichever one. Just allow a softening, a releasing down. So our space, spirit, ether, not really an element, but rather the container for all the other elements. And it can be good to kind of just explore those subtle aspects of our being to help us tap into those subtler things within, beyond kind of the analytical mind, beyond what we can see and touch, and into more of that realm of the unknown. It's sometimes been referred to as luminous emptiness, which is really rather quite beautiful. Represents the things beyond everyday experience. And every now and again we might just feel that we tap into that. So take another inhale here. And as you exhale, if you're in your pigeon, you can walk back onto the hands, back to down dog, or flop over to that side. And if you're on your back, just ease off that side, have any little movements that you need. And then that left leg, if you're in your full pigeon, left leg's going to come forward, right leg long. Inhale for length. Exhale, bring right forearm across the top of the mat. Inhale, left hand forward. Exhale it round to take hold of the hip, right hip or maybe the heel, if that's available. And it's like that left side of the chest opens up. And you could have a little bit of pressing into the right forearm, just a little, to twist further into that. Long, deep breaths. And then take an inhale, and then exhale. Release that left arm just to be in your regular pigeon. And settling in there. And the title for this week was Magic in Every Moment. It's about that kind of leaning in to every moment, expecting magic. This comes from my value of learning to kind of lean into that and create this attitude, if you like, of just expecting wonderful things. And more often than not, that's what happens. Just seeing all the beauty and the wonder and those kind of intangible things around us on a daily basis. And this really comes from my 5-year-old niece. She's taught me this, because this is how she has explored the world, or how she explores the world. It's beautiful to watch. And if we can embody just a little bit of that, just a little bit of that childlike wonder and play, take another inhale, and as you exhale, slowly release. And if you're in your full pigeon, you can just move back to your down dog. If you're lying down, you can stay there. We're going to all come down onto our backs. You just gradually take your time to release. And then we're going to come onto our left side. So you might need a pillow or something for the head. So come to lie on your left side with the left arm reaching out. So you're on the side of the shoulder. You can stack the knees quite comfortably, hopefully, and stack the hips. And what we want to do is move into a twist, but see if we can keep this stacking of the hips. So the right palm can come on top of the left. So take an inhale, reach the right hand up, and as you exhale, begin to bring that right hand over to the right and the shoulder down. But if you can help it, keep the knees stacking. You might even bring the left hand to the knees to help them to just stay there, if you like. And that right shoulder might not come anywhere near the earth. That's not kind of the idea, really. It's just to create a slightly different feeling of twist here. And of course, if there's any pain in that shoulder, then don't stay there. Choose your normal twist, but just exploring if that's a possibility to be in this slightly different opening. You might kind of get a sense that the breath, the exhale, allows you to sink a little bit further towards the earth. And then take another inhale, and as you exhale, gradually moving out, maybe back onto your back. That feels okay, or reaching that right hand back over to the left and then onto your back. Take a moment on your back. And then moving over to your right side. Stacking everything there, shoulder stacking, knees stacking, hip stacking, left hand on top of right palm, inhale to reach the hand up, and then exhale to gradually begin to bring it over, but try not to move the knees. Don't let the knees move, don't let the hips move. If you quite easily get that left shoulder down, it probably means that knees and hips have moved. But equally, there should be no pain. Make it a nice twist as well. And space can be said to be about our communication as well, because it connects into throat chakra, as well as third eye. But in this space at the throat, it can be about listening as well as speaking, as well as communicating, but actually listening as well. So I tend to see it as being able to listen to ourselves as well as others. So being able to listen to what is happening within and honoring what is happening within. You know, sometimes we will have we will sense and feel something. It's not from the intellectual mind. There will be something there, maybe telling us that something doesn't feel right, or we want to change something, or we feel we should rest, or whatever it might be. It's that listening into the body and into those very subtle things that can happen within. And you know, if we're busy and stressed, we don't hear that. We can't possibly hear it. Too much of life is noisy and too much going on. So it's about tapping into that ability to listen to the very subtle things happening within. So take another inhale there. And as you exhale, slowly release back onto your back and make your way into Shavasana. Any last little movements that you need, maybe hugging knees in, circles, but then just resting, having that releasing into the earth. And as you take your next breath in and out, become aware of your flesh and bones. Seeing if you can invite in that feeling of earth, that earth energy into your awareness. And even feeling that unwavering presence that comes when the earth element is in balance. Cultivating that sense of grounding and stability by simply feeling the earth below you. And as you take your next breath in and out, become aware of the blood rushing through the veins. And feel that flow and fluidity that comes when the water element is in balance. Cultivating that sense of ease, openness, and that sense of flow. And as you take your next breath in and out, become aware of the warmth in your body. Feel the vibrancy that comes when the fire element is balanced. Cultivating that sense of confidence, empowerment, drive, determination. Physically feeling that fire within. And as you take your next breath in and out, become aware of the air moving in and out of your lungs. And notice how the air element feels, how it creates space when it's in balance. Cultivating that sense of freedom and expansion, that sense of love and compassion. And as you take your next breath in and out, become aware of your body in space. Space around you, above you, within you. Cultivating the element of spirit. Breathing into pure possibility and potential. Pure consciousness. And then use your next few breaths to integrate space, body, mind, and breath, all as one. And then slowly beginning to deepen your breath. When you feel ready, bring movement into fingers and toes. Gradually stretching, drawing knees in, and gradually and slowly coming back. And as you come back to sit, you might just keep eyes closed or gaze soft. Just that noticing and sensing how you are and how you feel now. Bringing the hands to prayer, bowing down towards hands and heart, towards that space within, that spirit, that wisdom, that pure bright light that is always there, never changing, constant within. Closing with one Om. Take a deep breath in. So thank you for your practice. Namaste.